Okay, so here we are. Got a couple options for setting up our off-grid miner. I've got it off-cam right here. The first one is just the standard roof mount. You guys have seen. I'm obviously wearing my OSHA-approved footgear. These are pretty easy to port around. They're really nice for flat roofs. They're nice for super portable off-grids, but if you want something that's a little bit more permanent, one of my clients just showed me something pretty rad, which is this guy. You can order this thing off Amazon. It's a little tripod. You can put whatever you want in the middle. I just happen to have a little metal pole that's hanging around, and then you can take these bolts, which you can get off of eBay, and just drive that sucker into the ground. So I won't do all three. We don't have all day to set this thing up, but that makes this thing pretty darn sturdy. You can slide whatever you want. You can use, like I said, a closet pole. You can use whatever you got laying around the garage if you got a garage like mine, or you can measure these bolts here and just make sure you get something that works for you. Whatever it is, that's a pretty easy way to carry it around without doing the full-on bracket. Now, I'm going to use the bracket because I've got it sitting here, but you could totally get rid of the bracket, and as long as you have something to hold on the antenna and put it up here, you're going to be totally fine. So the next step is I'm going to switch out the socket on my little driver here, put the new guy on, and now I'm going to put my miner up. Let's see. So here's the back of it. You can see my little hose clamps that I've got here. So that's all good to go. And then there is the front. You can set this up however you want. I'm going to make this super easy for me. And just more or less slide it down the pole and let it sit on the bottom, but you can put it as low or as high as you want. With these hose clamps, cool little trick. I'm going to turn this around so you can see it a little bit, is just get the thing started here so that they're mostly on, and then you can use the driver to do the rest of the work, which is kind of cool. Okay, so there is the first one, and then we'll get the second one on. And this should illustrate that off-grids are not the easiest thing to do. You can always have some small mismeasurement piece, but there's always some aspect of it that can be just a little bit wonky, so you do want to make sure that they're on pretty good. And then that's how it starts. So we've got the solar panel giving the thing shade. I'll pull the camera off and get a little bit closer, but yeah, that's the beginning of the GKI off-grid, and it's securely mounted thanks to a client. Okay, let's do the next part. Okay, I've moved the whole unit into the shade here, so it's a little bit easier to see. So we still have our HN10 on top, solar panel, and then here's our inside, here's the guts of it. I'm going to take the battery, put it in there, I'll hook it all up, and we should see this singing. Here is the little N-type connector. So you saw that before. That's a direct connection from inside to outside. That just makes that thing pretty simple. I just made this cable, and that goes up to the H antenna. So that's the whole setup. You can use these little tripods. You can use other stuff as well, but this one is pretty easy and light, and you don't need the bracket that I made. You can use a solar panel mounting bracket to mount the panel, and then mount the box separately just on its own little real two DIN rails, and mount that to the pole, and that's a much smaller operation. So let me get everything connected up, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, so I've got it all set up here. We've got everything kind of coming in and going out. I don't know if you can hear my dogs in the background, but they're alerting me that someone is within 1,000 feet of the property. Okay, so we got the solar cable coming in here, goes into the solar panels. We've got the battery cable coming into the plus and minus here. And then we've got our two cables. They're both put together, so positive, positive, negative, negative. And those are going to, first, this 12 to 5 buck converter, and that's what powers the little Pi 0 here in the RAC 2287, and also this RUT 240 cell modem. So this guy's upside down. You may not be able to see it perfectly, but it's saying nothing's coming in. Right now I've got the panel mostly in the shade. There's maybe a little bit in the sun. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down to load, which is where we are now, and hit enter. It was on 15, so 15 here means that in this case the power is manual, and that should have spun up. A couple things, I can see a little green light right here, And you probably can't see it, but over on this side, there's going to be actually on this side, there's going to be some lights coming on here soon, and the Pi Zero should be firing up. So I'll get this thing in the sun, pay attention a little bit, and let you know when I see this thing totally fired up. But right now we're seeing, I don't know if you're seeing it, but a little green light right here on the Ethernet cable. So I know at least there's some power getting in there. All right, let's see what it looks like in the sun.